Happy Kids Mythology.
From tragedy to divinity, the secret origin of Ganesha's elephant head. High atop the glistening, snow-capped peaks of Mount Kailash, the air was cold, but the sun shone with a warm, golden light. This was the home of the great Lord Shiva and the beautiful goddess Parvati. One morning, while the mountains were quiet and the clouds drifted lazily by, goddess Parvati decided she wanted to take a long, peaceful bath. She looked around her palace and realized there was no one to guard the entrance. She didn't want the mischievous spirits of the mountain or even the wind to disturb her peace. So, with a gentle smile, she created a boy from the sandalwood paste of her own body. She breathed life into him, and suddenly, a brave and handsome young boy stood before her. Parvati looked at him with great love and said, "My son, you are my loyal guard. Stand at this gate and do not let anyone, and I mean anyone, enter until I have finished." The boy, whom we now know as Ganesha, bowed low. He picked up a sturdy wooden staff, squared his shoulders, and stood as firm as the mountain itself. He took his mother's words very seriously. To him, anyone meant every single person in the world. A long time passed, and Ganesha stood perfectly still, watching the eagles fly overhead. Suddenly, he heard the sound of footsteps crunching in the snow. A tall, powerful man with long, matted hair and a crescent moon shining in his locks approached the gate. This was Lord Shiva, the master of the house, returning from a very long meditation in the forest. Shiva walked toward the door, expecting to enter his home as he always did. But suddenly, Ganesha stepped forward and blocked the path with his staff. "Stop!" the boy cried out in a clear, loud voice. "You cannot enter. My mother is resting, and she has ordered me to let no one pass." Shiva stopped and looked at the boy in surprise. He had never seen this child before. With a calm and deep voice, Shiva said, "Little one, I am Shiva. This is my home, and Parvati is my wife. Please step aside so I may enter." But Ganesha, who did not know what Shiva looked like, shook his head firmly. "I do not know who you are, sir, but I know my mother's command. She said, 'No one,' and that includes you. Please wait outside." Shiva was puzzled. Usually, the whole world bowed to him, but this little boy was standing his ground. Shiva tried to explain again, more firmly this time, but Ganesha would not budge. He was a very disciplined boy. Soon, Shiva's loyal followers, a group of spirits and warriors called the Ganas, arrived. They were shocked to see a boy talking back to the mighty Mahadev. "How dare you stop our master?" they shouted. They rushed forward to push Ganesha out of the way, but Ganesha was no ordinary child. With a quick swing of his staff, he pushed the warriors back. He was fast, strong, and incredibly brave. He didn't want to hurt anyone, but he refused to break his promise to his mother. The Ganas tried again and again, but Ganesha was like a whirlwind, defending the gate with all his might. Even the king of the gods, Indra, came down from the heavens on his giant white elephant to help. They all tried to move Ganesha, but the boy remained as steady as a rock. The mountain began to shake as the argument turned into a legendary struggle. The sky turned dark, and the wind began to howl through the snowy peaks. Lord Shiva, who usually was very peaceful, finally lost his patience. He saw that the boy was blocking the path of the gods and felt that he had to end the conflict. In a moment of great anger, during the heat of the battle, Shiva used his powerful trident, the Trishula. With one swift, magical move, Ganesha was struck down. The noise of the battle stopped instantly. The wind died down, and a heavy silence fell over Mount Kailash. Just at that moment, Goddess Parvati stepped out of the palace. When she saw Ganesha lying there, her heart broke into 1,000 pieces. "What have you done?" she cried, her voice echoing across the valleys. "He was my son. He was only doing exactly what I asked him to do. He was the most loyal boy in the universe." As Parvati wept, the earth began to tremble with her sadness. She was so upset that the stars stopped twinkling and the sun hid behind the clouds. Shiva immediately felt a deep, heavy sense of regret. He looked at the brave boy and realized he had acted too quickly in his anger. He wanted more than anything to make things right and bring the boy back to life. Shiva turned to his followers and gave them a very important mission. "Go quickly," he commanded. "Search the forest and find the first living creature you see sleeping with its head facing north. Bring that head back to me so I can save this brave boy." The followers hurried down the mountain. They searched through the thick green forests and across the wide rivers until they came upon a majestic, wise elephant resting under a tree. They explained the situation, and the noble elephant agreed to help the gods. They brought the head back to the peak of Kailash. Shiva carefully placed the elephant's head on Ganesha's shoulders. He sprinkled holy water from the river Ganges and whispered ancient prayers. Slowly, Ganesha's fingers began to twitch. His large, new ears flapped once, then twice. He opened his eyes and sat up, feeling his long, powerful trunk. He was alive. Parvati rushed to him and hugged him, her tears of sadness turning into tears of joy. Shiva smiled and knelt beside the boy. "Ganesha," he said, "you have shown the greatest loyalty and courage I have ever seen. You protected your mother's word even against the king of the gods." To honor him, Shiva gave Ganesha a very special blessing. He declared that Ganesha would be the leader of all his followers. "From this day forward," Shiva promised, "people will pray to you first before they start any new journey, before they write a new book, or before they celebrate a festival. You will be the remover of obstacles. Whenever someone faces a problem, they will think of you, and you will help them find their way." Ganesha bowed to his father and mother, his big elephant ears glowing in the sunlight. He was no longer just a god, he was the beloved god of wisdom. And that is why, even today, we see Ganesha with his big elephant head and his kind eyes, reminding us that being loyal and brave is the greatest strength of all.